Hummingbird Wholesale is a food distributor focused on offering organic, local, and regional food crops to customers throughout the Pacific Northwest and Northern California. We contract directly with farmers whenever possible, and this is one of our stories.
Our family began farming in this present area in 1950. I was working with my grandfather and my father and neighbors, probably at the age of 12 or 13, running combine and doing harvest, just a way of life, and it was survival. So many people have lost that relationship or connection with sense of community and family and home. In the 40s, probably 30% of our population lived and worked on farms to feed us. Today, it's less than 2%. That disconnect now actually helps to make people want to reconnect. In the past, we grew something, wanted to turn it into cash as quick as we could, pay down the bank operating line and be thinking about the next year. Now, someone from Hummingbird says, do you think you can grow this? Or there's a market for that, can we process this? It's such a change from putting wheat in a rail car at our facility and sending it to Portland and it goes on a ship to somewhere. Not that it isn't providing nutrition for someone, but it's not someone we can connect with. And now that connection is such an important part of our lives. My parents are a real American success story. They didn't have a lot of financial backing, but they had the highest of reputation, and that's something we hold very dear.
Well, I'm the secretary-treasurer of the company and do most of the book work. I don't do any of the computer work, but banking and paying the bills.
Well, my name is Sue Hunton, and my relationship is part of the farm, part of the mill, and part of the family business that we're trying to grow here.
I grew up here, basically on this property right beside us. I was here until I was 18, then moved out a long distance of 1.5 miles away to take over running the farm side of the operation.
I often say that we grow 4 types of food crops. We grow food for humans, we grow food for animals, we grow food for the soil. We grow a lot of cover crops, seed. When we find that right balance of all of those things, it's food for the soul. We see a lot of fresh vegetables and the success, all of the farmers markets. Nobody was doing that with grain. Grain was this faceless ingredient that nobody seemed to care about.
It started out by growing the wheat, shipping it 80 miles away, and then shipping back the flour, and we thought, well, that doesn't make sense. Maybe we should think about putting in a mill.
That's when Charlie and Julie from Hummingbird made us a loan. Sue and I invested a lot of life savings, got the mill open in 2011.
I remember Charlie and Julie saying, well, we will really help you get started, and really being involved in helping us come up with Camas Country Mill and the name and picking out the logo and sitting there together. We just have such a lovely relationship, and I really cherish that.
So cool.
I feel we're trying to change palates. People have to understand where food comes from and taste the difference between a whole grain and a processed wheat that doesn't really have flavor.
It's really fun to help people make that recognition. A lot of people that aren't as aware on local food now assume the best wheat in the world comes from Kansas. I beg to differ from them. I think we've got some customers that think there's some awful darn good wheat comes out of the Willamette Valley.
Not only will we be selling it and providing it for people, but we're also providing them the opportunity to come out and experience it.
5 years into this relationship with Hummingbird, the business is growing between us quite exponentially, and today probably 80% of the market that Hummingbird services or provides with our products were never markets that we identified before we started.
One at a time without each other. We couldn't do what we're doing right now with all the things that, projects and things. And I think that's beautiful. I think that's really a unique working together, culminating in a product that is feeding community, is feeding local people, feeding us.